Hi, folks. Can I have your attention? Thank you. We're going to get started again on our program to stay on track. Still got a big and aggressive afternoon of good sessions. Hopefully everyone enjoyed their lunch. And the speaker, who is wonderful. Thank you. I do want to take a moment to again thank our sponsors, in particular our platinum sponsors, Grant Thornton and PwC, and our diamond sponsors, Caliber, Carney and Company, E&Y, Oracle, SAP, and then all of our additional sponsors, without which we would not be here and not be able to do this in this wonderful venue. So can we give our sponsors a big round of applause? Thank you. Okay, I'd like at this time for anybody who has been on the PDI committee to stand up. And I'd like to ask you all to thank these great folks that have been working diligently to put on this effort. So the NCR PDI committee, wave hands, folks in the back there. Could not do it without them. They are just critical. And also our volunteers, many of whom are in our blue shirts. Could you guys also stand up? Very, very generously donating their time and efforts here. Okay, it's now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Al Reynolds, who is the ASMC Executive Director. He is going to give us a national update. A lot of exciting things coming up, including New Orleans in May. So please give Al a nice, warm welcome.
All right, it's great to see all of you here this year. I also want to add my thanks to our sponsors. You do so much, our corporate members, you do so much for ASMC, and we all really appreciate it. Also want to thank Deb Delmar for the time and effort she puts into this. She said, you know, it's easy with the committee, but the committee needs leadership. They're a great committee, but Deb, I want to thank you and Ariane for your leadership of the Washington chapter in Michigan. All right, I also want to recognize ASMC National Executive Committee members who are here today. I'm not sure if our president, Kathy Miller, was able to make it. If you are, Kathy, would you please stand? I'm not sure she was. And then any of our other board members. I know I've seen Craig. There's Craig. There's Gretchen. Who else is here? So, yeah, there's Kathy. There you go, Ann. Yeah, let's give them a hand. So they put a lot of personal time into ASMC at the national level, and what they get in return is about a slice of pizza, about once a quarter for our evening meetings. So I really do appreciate everything that you contribute. Thank you so much. I want to just update you on a few things. I'm only going to take 5 to 10 minutes here. I want to start with certification. We're doing a lot this year in the certification area. If you haven't heard, we're working to update the CDFM exam modules. The 3 of them, certainly. We may also end up updating Mod 4. Along with that comes an update of the textbook for Enhanced Defense Financial Management. I think James Short is here. James, where are you? There's James. He is the chair of our Certification Commission. I'm not sure if any of our other Certification Commission members are here, but if you are, please stand as well. All right, and thank you to those folks who serve on our certification committee. Yeah, thank you, James. So part of the update of the exam obviously includes a job task analysis. Fortunately, in coordination with DOD and looking at the work they did in developing the DOD FM certification program, we were able to use most of what they did for that program on job task analysis. So we are at the stage actually of identifying and asking some CDFM subject matter experts to come into the headquarters on a weekend and work update of the exam with us. It's a fairly involved process to update the exams. The key is to make sure that we do that in a way to where the exam is, quote, legally defensible. And so as you can imagine, we're working hard at that. And looking at major areas of revision and looking at the textbook, just for your information, we have 11 competency areas in CDFM. We're dropping one competency area altogether. There was a competency area called personnel management. Well, every manager needs to understand personnel management. It's not necessarily just an FM competency or task requirement. Now, certainly manpower management, on the other hand, part of budget is. So, that's going to go by the wayside. There's a competency area called internal controls. We're expanding that to add into it overall enterprise risk management. Most of you should know that, well, certainly all the budgeteers know that OMB revised Circular A11 to include enterprise risk management. They're currently working on a revision of Circular A123 to make it ERM focused as well. We're also going to add more information about audit. We added information about audit readiness in coordination with the department about a year ago into the EDFMT training, and now we're expanding that to get more into the internal controls over financial reporting as well as overall on audit. Lastly, we're adding information about ERPs. Not going to go into a lot of detail, but we think some information about systems is a very important critical requirement for financial managers. Let me talk about membership just briefly. How many of you are early careerists? Would all the early careerists in the room and across the hallway, I can't see you there, but all of our early careerists, please stand. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Absolutely. So I'm happy to tell you that if you don't know it, we also kind of reestablished the ASMC Membership Committee, and we established a subcommittee of it called the Early Careerist Subcommittee. And if you don't know it, and I know you do, our early careerists, our young professionals are the future of defense financial management, and they are the future of ASMC. So we conducted our first ever, in partnership with the Washington chapter, Young Professional Social Hour. I think it was about 5-6 weeks ago. Had 40 young professionals show up. They had a great time. I had a great time. Although I'm 45 years old and feel... It was great talking with them. Basically, we're encouraging our top 30 chapters by membership size to do similar efforts in engagement with young professionals. Actually heard a stat that was a little alarming about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and that was that across the federal government, we're hiring, as far as our new incoming folks through recruitment and everything, about 7% of those are early careers, young professionals, millennials, what have you. But we're losing them as far as folks leaving the federal government. 8% of those that are leaving are young professionals. There's something wrong there, folks. We've got to do a better job, I think, of engaging these folks and keeping them on board. Dave Zorsey is the chair. I think Dave is here in one of the rooms. He's the chair of our membership committee. Morgan Hall chairs our early careerist subcommittee. Let me talk a little bit about the ASMC National PDI in New Orleans. We're expecting a great turnout this year. The theme is Marching Forward, Be in That Number. And I love that theme. If you haven't seen the logo, I encourage you to go on our website. We opened registration last week for the PDI. We're still working with the presenters, the speakers, to determine actually when those sessions will be presented on Thursday or Friday. So you'll come in first after you get command approval to attend the PDI and all that, register for the PDI, and then you'll come back in a few weeks. It'll probably be 3 or 4 weeks when we've got the total schedule all developed and ready for you to select your mini courses and workshops. As you can imagine, very importantly, this year we're again supporting the DoD-FM certification program by providing last year 17, this year 19 mini courses that will provide folks direct credit towards meeting the requirements of the DoD program. I want to also mention something that's kind of unique that we're doing. Probably most of you in this room have a father that was a World War II veteran, is a World War II veteran. Back in 1999, I was serving as the commander of the 18th Soldier Support Group. One of the hats that I wore was the commander of the North Carolina Area Casualty Group. And at that time, I learned that we were losing World War II veterans at a rate of 6,000 per month. Today, we're losing World War II veterans at a rate of 14,000 per month. There were 16 million that, participated in World War II. 16 million World War II veterans. We have 855,000 left. In the next 10 to 11 years, we'll lose all the rest of them. If you don't know it, New Orleans has a World War II museum that is just world class. It has been rated the top 3 or 4 museums in the country. Tom Hanks, has been a big participant in it. Stephen Ambrose, obviously. So what we're planning to do, and this is going to involve some corporate sponsorship. We've got an offer out to our Gold members on corporate sponsorship. But you're probably aware, and some of you have participated in the past, we normally do a 5K run or a Volks March and a Volks March on Tuesdays for the PDIs. This year, the local committees have decided they want to do a scavenger hunt in that area of New Orleans, which I think is going to be really pretty neat. This will be Tuesday afternoon. We're going to end the scavenger hunt at 5:30. The last station will be there at the World War II Museum. And then from 5:30 to 8:30, we're going to do a reception at the World War II Museum. This is Tuesday. This is the travel day to the PDI. So I'm telling you about this, hoping that you'll plan to travel early, arrive in time to participate in it. We're only going to be able to take care of about 800 to 1,000. We're going to be renting the 2 main buildings there. There's a 50-minute film produced by Tom Hanks on World War II that'll be available for about the first 720 folks, who sign up for this and come in and tell us they want to do that. When we were there in January, which, our on-site planning with the local committees, and we went over to the museum, we're walking around with the official we were talking with about the possibility of renting the museum for this. And I happened to look up, and there's a B-26 bomber hanging from the ceiling. Other aircraft as well. It was just amazing. So if you have not visited the World War II Museum, and I wish my father had been able to, I lost him in 2001. He was a torpedoman on the USS Gambier Bay during World War II. But I know it's something that he would have enjoyed seeing. So I hope you'll take that opportunity. Now, there's also going to be, in addition to the museum itself, we're going to provide heavy hors d'oeuvres. This thing is going to cost about $60,000 to do. So including the corporate sponsorship that we hope to get, we're also going to need to charge $20 a piece to folks attending, but that's going to be a great deal. If you just did the museum itself and the film, you'd be paying almost $30, throwing in the food, heavy hors d'oeuvres. I think it's going to be fantastic. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. I want to close by saying just a little bit about Virtual PDI. Virtual PDI 2014 is still out there. That's 100 hours of content. You get CPEs out of that. Now, for the mini course portion of it, you don't get direct credit on Virtual PDI, but you do get the CPEs. So if you need CPEs, think about Virtual PDI. And I also want to thank all of our speakers today, and those who will be speaking this afternoon, for your support of our National Capital Region PDI. as you'll recall, last year, you know, in the speaker registration form and all of that, the speaker questionnaire, I guess Pat Tyler calls it, we also ask you if you're willing to, if you give us approval to record your sessions so we can include it in virtual PDI. So I hope you'll all do that for us again this year. And with that, that's all I have. Again, great to see you here this afternoon, and I hope you're enjoying this, and thank you for investing in training. Appreciate it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Al. Just a couple of instructions, please, as we adjourn from lunch. We'll be heading to our workshops. Now, the largest group of you are going to the DOD-FM certification mini course, which will take place in the amphitheater. You have to be pre-registered for that. We ask for your cooperation in looking for the appropriate entrance that you need to enter and get checked in. And then please remember the guidance and the regulations about completing that course and the survey when you leave. Other sessions are on page 14 in your book. They're on a first-come basis, so hopefully space will allow you to get into the one you want. Please note that after the first workshop sessions, there will be a break, and for 2 of the 3 sessions, folks will transition back down here into the atrium, which is split up into atrium A and B. So the exhibit hall area will still be open for you to mingle and go talk to folks there and get some refreshments before you have your final session in the late afternoon. Please take the time to do the surveys that are going to be sent out. That's very important. We take your feedback very, very seriously, in particular this year, given the new venue and some of the things we've tried to put in place. And a final reminder for those government folks who have signed up for speed mentoring, that will commence immediately after the sessions down in the Polaris session. And we thank our government mentors for volunteering to coach our young careerists and others who are interested in getting advice on their professional path forward. So enjoy the afternoon. My thanks again to all of you for attending, and we'll see you during the afternoon.